what the hell happened, right? So apparently, Nicki and Meg did a live together, and then Nicki said, this is what she said. She said that she was pregnant during that live, and that Meg knew that she was pregnant, and Meg was encouraging her to drink or she was pregnant, either pregnant or trying to get pregnant. And Meg was encouraging her to drink, and then said that she should. My fault.
Well, no, you came from. Hey, you said she was unfit for syndicated radio
because of the transphobic comments. Me and my friends didn't like somebody that got shot. Like glass fragment foot ass bitch is something that we would definitely call her.
Joe Budden is doing a Spaces on Twitter, and I couldn't get in through my main page because apparently the girl that's Hope was on the co-host has blocked me. Can't say that he would cheat. I can say that if he felt more comfortable.
Listen. That he would cheat.
No, because see, this is what your idea. Your idea of cheating, him just sleeping with other women. My idea is he's saying, I'm going to sleep with other women, but I'm going to do it with you knowing that it's happening. Okay. And you're going to understand what's going on.
This podcast is sponsored by Graffiti Tax Services. For all your tax preparation needs, you can go to graffititax.com. We're going to put the link right here. It should be somewhere. And yeah, you can head to them during tax season. And if you have any financial or tax preparation questions, head to Graffiti Tax Services. They're our new sponsor. Thank you to Graffiti Tax Preparation Services. That's it.
Miss Reality.
Hi.
It's been a lot going on now since our last encounter here.
Yeah, because we had to muster up topics for the last episode. It was kind of a slow news week, but this week it was plentiful. The universe gave us so many topics.
So I think I'm gonna get the people prepared with a little music here. I think this it's gonna explain a lot what we're gonna talk about today. So let's get into it.
Period.
I think that was a good way to start.
Yeah.
You slick a South Side chick.
What does that even mean?
So she's from about South Side of Georgia. So technically, you slick a South Side chick.
I'm from New York, sir.
I'm just saying, I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules.
The rules say I'm from New York. No matter how long I live here.
You slick a South Side. From New York. So shout out to Lotto.
I will eventually reside on the South Side of Georgia. Again.
All right, so let's get into this. It's a lot of stuff we got to get into, man. We first got to start off. This is Talk FNF TV.
What's up, guys?
I'm your host, Rhetoric. I'm with my lovely and amazing and wonderful co-host, Miss Reality.
Hello. Spirit fingers.
All right, man. We got to first start.
Y'all remember Bring It On?
You good? I thought I was going to have to call the authority, call the medics.
Spirit fingers. Okay.
Oh my goodness. All right, so we gotta first start somewhere, man. We took a victory lap a little too early last week.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't our finest hour.
Nope.
We had a clip set up. We was ready to go, and then we got played, man. I'm just be honest. They got us. We got. We can only be ashamed of ourselves. So just to let y'all know, Jess Hilarious is now a regular,
official,
full-time co-host of The Breakfast Club.
Inked.
Shout
on
out.
The paper.
Shout out to you, Jess Hilarious.
Shout out to you, man.
I want you to know if you did see that or if anybody saw that episode, we had our theories and thoughts of, what was going to go down. I want to assure everyone that it was only Miss Reality who was hating. You know what I'm saying? I actually believe that Jess Hilarious was the one and only person who they actually could get in there.
Wow.
I thought the only reason they weren't going to put her in there was because of the slander she said about the trans women. But
that's
obviously,
what I thought also.
Obviously, we are living in times where that's no longer required.
You can be transphobic and syndicated, apparently.
Because I was watching this yesterday. It was Kenyon Martin the other day.
Chauncey, there. Yeah, faggot ass Chauncey. That what y'all are. Ooh. Oh, faggot ass Chauncey.
Okay. Ooh. I'm just happy. Listen, my van.
So it's like the rules is out the door now. It's
Who
no
was
more.
that, Corey Holcomb?
No, that was a. No,
That sounded like him.
that
I
was
don't
Kenyon Martin. That was Kenyon Martin. He was a former NBA player on Gil's
I don't
Arena.
like that. That's crazy.
But no, that was from Menace to Society, where they was talking about Chauncey, who was one of the antagonists in the film. But I'm just saying that shit it might be out the door now. That whole being politically correct and all that jazz, that might be out the door.
This is what we get for betting against the black women and celebrating her L's.
I mean, it's a lot. It's Trump. We got a whole bunch of things that's going on that's making this whole environment, a whole different thing. Like maybe Jess was doing the right thing. She took the side that's going to promote what she's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And we just maybe stuck in the 2010s with our criticisms.
I feel like us assuming that she wouldn't be on radio because she's transphobic is not us being stuck in the 2010s. It's us being a little too
overly critical.
24.
A little overly critical.
Yeah.
But I think we got to give a shout out to the Breakfast Club because they did do a great, I wouldn't say great, but they did do a really good job of, they started off with the staged interview with Charlamagne saying, I don't know what's going on. Afterwards, they had them complaining on air for multiple days. And then the icing on the cake was just calling them trash. That threw everybody off.
Yeah.
That's why we thought we were like, okay, this
was a wrap.
And I just feel bad because for weeks I wanted to bring up the topic and I had kept forgetting to bring it up and put it on a docket.
That was the universe.
And it was just telling us like, no, you don't need to talk about this. You don't need to do a victory lap because you're going to be wrong. And we should have seen it. The tea leaves were there. Why would she be shitting on Envy and Charlamagne?
It was me. It's my fault.
Well, no, you came from, hey, you said she was unfit for syndicated radio.
Because of the transphobic comments.
Yo, if everybody was hitting down on a black woman, it was you.
I don't agree with your point of view. I feel like I'm being gaslit and led astray.
No, you went at her. You, for some reason, you got some type of animosity to Jess Hilarious. Y'all gonna need to piece that up because
I don't have animosity.
I don't know why.
Jess Hilarious.
I'm just saying, it's some animosity there. It was uncalled for, but I'm glad.
I literally love her content so much until she said that. I just wanted her to stop saying dumb shit.
No, I feel you.
Other than that, I think she's hilarious.
I think she was the perfect fit, honestly, though. I feel like there wasn't, out of everybody they brought in, of the reoccurring guests, like the girl from TMZ, I wasn't a fan of her. She didn't really stand out. And I think what really sold me was the Sexy Red interview. So, shout out to you again.
Yeah, she got her viral moment with that.
This is our retraction. We were wrong. We'll take our L.
Retracted.
And
that's what journalists do, but we didn't really journalize for real. We was just talking shit.
We was just doing commentary.
Yeah, we was just talking shit.
But I do want to say in there, if y'all didn't see the rollout that they had in regards to like the little sizzle for everything, had my boy Danny from the Stop in the sizzle reel. Also had the boys from Homeroom, AJ on the sizzle reel. So shout out to those creators. They listening. That's a big thing right there. Even if they were trying to use it for hate, but in a real way, it's big in y'all love because it's showing y'all relevant. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so that's good for y'all.
Yeah, for real. So let's get into the topic at hand, man.
The meat and potatoes.
Meg and
honestly,
Nicki.
It's a mess.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like we had a conversation pre-production, and I was gonna try to come in here and defend Nicki Minaj. I was gonna be on Nicki's side. It's a lot of stuff that I felt like I could probably defend. And then this afternoon, man, she just made this thing impossible to defend. So Joe Budden is doing a Spaces on Twitter, and I couldn't get in through my main page because apparently the girl was on the co-host has blocked me because I have picked sides with the Stop. So I'm no longer allowed to be on Spaces where she's a host at. So I had to get around, had to use some other pages to get around. So I was able to listen to it, but I did miss Nicki. But of course, everybody screenshots the internet.
Of course. What was Nicki in there saying?
She was going off for like 45 minutes. No
about
lie.
Meg?
About everything. She tried to turn it into like, this is bigger than Meg. This is me against the industry. I'm about to play it for y'all. Like, this is wild behavior. Like, I know Joe was sitting there like, this is not what I was trying to do right now.
So if you get shot in one and then you get shot in two, now that leaves 0.
Okay,
So how
that's
you
definitely
twerking 2
gonna
days?
get me in
How you
trouble. Let
twerking
me
2
mute
days
up.
later? If you got, do you know what? Have you ever
Joe
been
said,
shot?
I need to get out.
Have you?
I've never been shot, Nikki.
That's the girl, good girl right here. That's who blocked me.
I know people that have been shot. I know people like that shoot. Okay. Now let me tell you what the fuck don't. Let me tell you what the fuck don't happen 2 days after a bitch get shot in 2 hoofs.
2 hoofs.
Twerking on socials. First of all, even emotionally, you just got shot. Girl, no. But, however, the point is, you know what really grinded my fucking gears, guys? What grinded my gears was when Doodoo on the beats. They or them I've never met in my life, right?
Never.
Got on Twitter, started bragging about him not clearing a beat for Nicki Minaj. So, while people were acting unbothered on socials, and while Desiree Perez was the bots, oh my God, we have screenshots of the YouTube bots. It's crazy. Leo, you better don't play with me, nigga. I hope you ain't around that company no more right now, cause yeah. And so, no, wait, hold on, Joe. Hold on, Joe. Hold on. Between the YouTube bots and the Twitter ads and the paid for TikToks and the paid for tweets, to the point where people got their little $250 for they tweet to say something bad about Nicki Minaj, and then the next day it was like, bitch, yeah. Anyway, I'm listening to Bigfoot. So I don't know why anybody of that, and I'm not talking about any rapper. I'm talking about a company or companies. Why would they want to prove everything I've been saying is true? Because what happens is,
Okay.
if you already make a smear campaign to market and tell people somebody is quote unquote crazy, then you are training them not to believe whatever this person says. So why would Doodoo on the beats that night come out like a dummy on the beats and prove my point? Oh, and you know what the barbs do?
Beats.
Oh, once one point Nicki say has been proven, oh, they will go back for the last 50 years and research some shit. And they will realize, oh, wow, they've been doing this, they've been doing that, they've been doing this. And now you ask yourself why. So if you think this is an issue between 2 rappers, you're wrong. This is a dialogue between me, the machine, and a bunch of different machines having to come together constantly, using different people. When one fails, let's go somewhere else and try to. It never works. But that's the point that I wanted the world to see, and that it's gonna be sympathy again. It's gonna be nonsense again.
Okay, man.
And
All right, man. Like I said, man, that shit is pure. Whatever she is on, that shit is the purest of the pure. Again, I wanted to say, like, hey, man, she came in here, Bigfoot wasn't that good, but she had an acapella version that she made into a challenge, and they had folks who made it sound even better. Like, I wanted to come in and defend that and try to, I was going to try. I was even going to try to be like, hey, man, the stuff about the mama, hey, this is hip hop. I can't do it. I can't do it. Because once you do that, and that was just about 4 minutes of a 45-minute rant that she went on today.
I could barely listen to the 4 minutes.
Like, it was crazy. Like, she's trying to do the whole industry's against me. They're trying to tear me down. They've sent this woman who's a plant to try to take me down. Nicki, just come with music. And when you don't come with the music, I can't defend it.
Yeah.
Coming off the album, coming off like the success you were having.
It was very successful, the album. So I don't understand. I thought the whole like the powers that be are against me thing is over because of the success of the album and everything. And it was like a commercial hit, but I guess not.
So let me just say one last thing before you get into your bag. Like this didn't sound like someone who just had a big album success. This sounded like someone who found out her husband was potentially with somebody else and went on a bender. This sounded like a woman who's been cheated on and has a lot of things in her system. Maybe
because the people do be saying that she be coked out, but we don't know that for sure.
Yeah, it's alleged. This is what it sounds like. That's all I'm saying. I'm
Yeah.
describing what I'm hearing in this woman's conversation.
She don't be sounding sober.
She's sporadic. I'm talking about the live, even when she just said everything that was in Bigfoot, well, she said on the live and just kept saying it over and over. Like, this does not look like a safe environment for this person.
Yeah.
Something going on, and I feel bad, and I can't defend it. I hope she can get some help. But we got to get into where this all started at. So I know you've been doing some excellent research.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so apparently, because y'all know that Nicki and Meg did Hot Girl Summer, like, at the start of, like, 2022. It was, like, during one of the pandemic summers, like, the first pandemic summer. So they did that together. They were all over live together, loving on each other, calling each other friends and all that. So what the hell happened, right? So apparently, Nicki and Meg did a live together, and then Nicki said... This is what she said. She said that she was pregnant during that live and that Meg knew that she was pregnant and Meg was encouraging her to drink or she was pregnant, either pregnant or trying to get pregnant. And Meg was encouraging her to drink and then said that she should allegedly abort the baby even if she got pregnant. So this is what Nicki said. So that's why she said that they fell out. Everyone else is saying that it might just be because Meg did the song with Cardi.
The first one, WAP.
Yeah. So Meg went on Twitter, said that all of that was lies in like 2023. And then Nicki released a song, Ruby to Sleeve. So this was like the first like on music shot where she said 700 on them horses, we fixing to leave, but I don't fuck with horses since Christopher Reeves. So that was like, everyone knew that was about Meg. She said, I don't fuck with horses. So that was the first shot on music that happened, right? So.
No, I was going to say this is the first hit on wax.
Yeah. So fast forward, there was another shot that she took, but I can't remember that one. So then fast forward, Meg put out Hiss. They were going back and they weren't going back and forth. It was just Nicki like saying shady shit for a long time, and then Meg hadn't addressed anything for mad long, which was a problem of mine for a long time. There's mad clips of me saying that Megan needs to just rah at everyone. Like you really
the same thing.
I wanted her to go at everybody, and she did that. So Meg dropped Hiss and she went at everyone. So the bar that everyone is saying is about Nicki is these hoes don't be mad at Megan, these hoes mad at Megan's law. I don't really know what the problem is, but I guarantee y'all don't want me to start. Right? So Megan's law,
talk about it,
is the federal law that notifies the public about certain information on registered sex offenders. So these hoes mad at Megan's law means like you mad that we can go on the internet and see that your husband is a sexual offender.
That we got him.
He's been caught. Dum, dum, you know? In the criminal justice unit.
We got him.
We definitely got him. So after Hiss dropped, Nicki immediately went ballistic. immediately. She was on Twitter.
Like 20 minutes later.
Yeah, she was on Twitter calling Megan a pathological and manipulative liar, bringing up her relationship with her past label, bringing up her lying on her mama. She called her, quote, a scary ass, pussy ass, broke ass hoe. Said that she uses ghostwriters. Said that your ex-man has a diss song about you, and went on a whole campaign dragging you. Yeah, and amongst a bunch of other things.
And see, like, a lot of things I'm seeing there was like, Safari did the same thing with you. You had the same kind of I can't come in here defend
it's just
you.
Safari was more pathetic, so we didn't hear the shots he took at you because we didn't give a fuck.
And y'all were around the same age. Party's like 40 years old. Like, he's way older than me. So he had a kind of a more of a time advantage on her than you did on Safari. Safari was just glad to be be cool with the right chick at that time.
Don't nobody talk about Safari in accordance to Nicki anymore, but that was definitely a L. It was. And then everyone said that he wrote your shit, just like people are saying that Party was writing Megan shit. So I feel like definitely you're correct in that sense. That's the same exact thing that they're going through.
You're just rehashing criticism that was already done to you.
Yeah, the man that was connected to you that happens to do music also, who hasn't been able to make hits of their own. That's the same thing. The same thing about Safari you can say about Party. They have not written hits of their own. Party has written mad hits for other people though.
But people can
hits for other people.
But people can at least say that the music quality did change once Safari was removed.
You can say that.
Safari had an ear. He could have had an ear.
Not Safari was a good A&R.
Safari A&R.
Safari was the creative director?
It could have been.
Not a jean vest.
I'm saying, when you see the cat work.
You came in here with a fucking jean vest.
A nigga who's going to pull up with a Gatorade, like, sweatsuit, like, not sweatsuit, a Gatorade leather suit, is the sickest nigga out. Like, that nigga got to be creative. Because pulling up with and he had the Gatorade to match.
I can never forget him just, like, pop locking behind Nicki Minaj. And then she was just like, and then that's my man. I'm going to stick beside him. Because he had that hammer.
Yo.
That dick was, it was it. We knew, we eventually found out why Nicki was so stupid about Safari.
Yo,
that
wild,
big, stupid ass dick. All right, let's continue.
That was very uncomfortable. I don't know how to feel about any of that conversation. You could have left all of that out.
I feel like that was gold. So, after she went on her Twitter little rampage, she sent out a couple tweets. She goes on Instagram Live. She previews Bigfoot. So we hear her first little shot in Bigfoot. She said, "Bad bitch." She like 6 foot. I call her Bigfoot. The bitch fell off. I said, "Get up on your good foot." I like that. Get up on your good.
The beat was just was horrible.
It was. I didn't like the beat at all.
The beat was horrible, and the fact that she told us every line on her live.
That was also a problem, yeah, because all of the zingers, we had already experienced them.
You should have had like a whole verse in there where you was just exposing like an abortion Meg had from the baby or something. Like, you should have had a whole little thing going on.
And I feel like it's kind of like when you watch a movie trailer and then you're like, ooh, this movie looks so good, and then you watch the movie and you realize that all of the good parts were in the trailer.
She should have just took a Pusha T, like, you are hiding an abortion. Like, for real, like, she just pulled one out the tub.
She should have literally just brought out like a secret baby or something. I don't know.
She said, like, you should have been like, you didn't get the lipo, you got the baby sucked, like, or something like, or the baby flushed. Roe v. Wade, bitch, she ain't really give a fuck. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could have went crazy with that.
Okay. So, those were like the couple shots that they took at each other, right? So, I want to go into just a little bit more detail with the lyrical breakdown for Bigfoot, right? So I have the lyrics here because Nicki immediately gets into it, right?
She like called Genius up and was like, "Hey, these are what the lines mean. I want to make sure you get this correct."
So, she said, "Your flow is such a bore, drinking a bottle of Henny through a straw."
I seen the pictures.
Bitch, you better stop that dialogue.
That was good.
Hit Carl and buy a catalog. So that was her former manager. So she threatened to buy her catalog, which I mean, I guess you could do.
Could she though?
That could she?
Ken Barbie.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. I do have that saved.
See, Nicki, how hard you make this?
You do make things hard. So apparently,
I was supposed to defend you.
it would be difficult for Nicki Minaj to buy Megan's catalog because she blew her advance allegedly. All alleged. This is coming from It's Ken Barbie on Twitter. So allegedly, she blew her advance from her last tour. So now this current tour is all collateral. Her touring is free because she owes the government money. And there's like liens on her the profits that she's gonna be making. So there's not that much liquid that she could there's not that much liquid money that she could use to buy Megan's catalog. So that doesn't really stand on much.
So unfortunately, this next tour she's about to go on would be essentially a slave tour because she's working for the U.S. government for free.
Yeah, that's what what's her face is doing right now.
The Pink Kunta Kinte tour.
The one that don't never show up on time. What's her face? Lauryn Hill. That's what she doing. She didn't pay no taxes, and now she going on tour and she cursing niggas out like I'm gonna
Lauryn
show
Hill
up.
didn't pay no taxes either.
Lauryn Hill don't pay no goddamn taxes, and now she's on tour, and this tour is the Uncle Sam tour.
Hey.
This is the paying my taxes tour for Lauryn Hill.
Yo, this the Pink Uncle Sam tour. It's crazy.
So, moving on. She said, how you F your mother man when she die, which is crazy. What does that mean, Nicki Minaj?
You effed your mother's man?
What does that mean, Nicki Minaj, and how do you know this?
My theory.
Did she call Kelsey?
My theory. Hold on. She said, F your mother's man.
Yes.
So, Carl, you know, Carl, the guy who owned the label she was originally signed to?
Yeah. What was Carl with her mom?
I'm just saying. I don't know.
Alleged.
Because isn't Carl with Kelsey now?
Speculation based on nothing is what we're doing right now.
Oh, for sure. Carl's with Kelsey now.
Is he?
Because I remember that was the big deal about, look it up just to check to make sure I'm right. But I believe
have
that
so
was
many things.
That was the big thing about Kelsey was that she was dating the label head of, you know, what Megan was trying to get rid of. She was trying to get out of. You know, that label whole dispute she was having? They were saying that she was dating him. They I think that's her fiance. I'm not even lying to you. Like I remember seeing that. Like that was a big thing about why Kelsey wasn't talking.
Yo, I have no idea, and I can't even Google this right now. I don't know none of their last names.
Okay, well you do. I'll go Google it and you do your.
Yeah. So the next couple bars I want to get into. So I think the next verse she went off a little bit. She said, this little begging whore talking about Megan's Law. For a free beat, you can hit Megan Raw. If you a ghost writer, party in Megan Jaw. Shots thrown, but I still ain't let Megan score. And then she goes into the little snippet. Bad bitch, she like 6 foot. Call her bitch, but big foot. Bitch fell off. I said, get up on your good foot. So, yeah, she literally, I think in that little part, she definitely did go off in that little part. But also, that was one of she tweeted that. She also tweeted that. That was in the trailer for the movie. So I already saw that coming, and it didn't hit the way that it was supposed to. And then towards the end, so the outro is uncomfortable. Yeah, uncomfortable is the word that I'm definitely going to use for that. She whispers the outro she's like speaking low, and she straight up just like ASMR whispers some of the parts of the outro, and she's like, "Now listen up, Bigfoot. You know I got a lot of tea. I went easy on you. Glass fragment foot ass bitch," which is hilarious, but I don't know. I think that's a key for real. Like, that's literally like if me and my friends didn't like somebody that got shot, like glass fragment foot ass bitch is something that we would definitely call her 1000%. But I wouldn't be making fun of somebody that got shot.
Oh, you wouldn't?
But I feel like that's the key. It's very unhinged though.
All right, let me just
she was whispering all that.
Let me make a quick correction. So, says the boyfriend of Meg's ex-friend Kelsey has close ties to Carl Crawford. So, whoever she's dating is tied to Carl Crawford. She's not dating to Carl Crawford. So, just wanted to correct that.
Yeah, because I have no idea what Kelsey's doing. I don't care at all. No shade though, because she did fuck your man. She did. We got that on wax. We could put that on her jacket. Like, Megan did fuck her best friend's man, which is crazy. I feel like we just like smooth past that because of all the trauma that she went through. But like, when all the dust settles and all that, we gonna spin that block and we gonna talk about that because that's crazy.
That's why I'm not mad at her. Like, going out there and being like, nah, like, I'm switching teams on you. I'm with the niggas that you was trying to sue now.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, like, I don't trust you. I found out in this situation at the same time that you were going through your traumatic shit that my best friend stabbed me in the back. So Kelsey was going through a bunch of, like, complicated emotions with her friendship with her at the same time that Megan was going through that traumatic shit. So
you think she shot her?
I don't think she shot her. I don't think she shot her. I feel like if Kelsey shot her, then Tori's lawyer needs to be thrown behind bars. Because what the hell? How'd you fumble that so bad? And then why didn't Tori be like, nah, this bitch shot her. Her. She shot her in the foot. It was her.
He was trying to hold it down.
Like, for what? Nah, I don't care.
You gotta hold your old work down.
Nope. If not married, if we just like dating and you shot somebody, I'm not. No.
I'm holding
I'm not riding or dying for you. I'm snitching immediately. I'm cooperating with the police to the full extent that I can.
Whenever she worked, she always works. So you got to hold your work down.
If the police ever watch our podcast, they know for a fact that I'm cooperating with them. I don't want no smoke with y'all.
You think the these people would have cooperated? These people right here would have cooperated?
If it was against people who they didn't give a fuck about?
Okay. Cooperating.
That's why I said not my husband.
Cooperating with authorities.
Not putting my livelihood at risk for you. Fuck out of here. You didn't put a ring on my finger and I'm about to do what? Ride? I'm about to tuck and roll. Tuck and roll. All right. So I want to next really quickly switch gears. We're still going to stay on Megan and Nicki, but I want to switch gears and talk about how Megan mostly came for men in the industry in this song. There was one little bar about Nicki, and then everyone's focusing on that because Nicki completely
spazzed on it.
Yeah, she unraveled and went unhinged because of this one bar. But Megan came out and like actually went at Drake a good amount. So she said there were two bars specifically that went at Drake. She said these niggas hate on BBLs and be walking around with the same scars. And allegedly Drake got his body done. He got the lipo and the six pack.
You can see the little cuts. You can see the way the belly button look. It does look a little funny in the light, Drake.
The shadows don't look natural.
The shadows ain't shadowing.
No, it doesn't look like an actual six pack.
The ab looks a little arched up. It looks like somebody went in there with a little scope section. You know what I'm saying? With a little sculpting knife.
Looked like that was made for you. A BB6.
Oh my goodness.
And then she also said, which I like this one a little bit more. She said, cosplay gangsters, fake ass accents, posted in another nigga hood like a bad bitch.
That's definitely Drake.
Drake is known for being posted in other niggas' hoods. And then at the end, the ad lib is, where are you from? Where are you from, Drake? Where are you from? Fake ass accents. Where are you from? Are you from Jamaica? Are you from the UK?
The thing is this, though. If anybody deserved bars besides Nicki, it was Drake.
Yeah.
Like, Drake just came at her on 2 different projects.
Like a little bitch, inserting yourself in women's business. Like, oh, this is my girl. This is my friend, so no. Shut your manly ass up and sit down.
Or maybe, as we're learning now, it might be doctor-generated manliness.
It's definitely doctor-generated manliness. Dr. Miami has taken several shots at Drake.
Yeah, I did see that.
Several. I love Dr. Miami's TikTok.
When the doctor...
Shout out to Santana or Santana. That's his social media manager.
They've been exposing you, Drizzy. Like, they've been saying, hey, man, it's some funny business going on. Hey, if you got cut up, you got to speak out. If you got the nip tuck, you got to speak out.
No, you can't be the first man to speak out.
He's not. Kevo Band, whatever that name is. What's his name? Kevo Bands or something like that. He's been openly with the cut up. You can see his shit look like somebody put a square in him, like a square muscle in his.
That's disgusting.
In his ab.
That's disgusting. I have no idea who that is, though. I've never seen him before.
I think his name is like Kevo Bands or something like that. But yeah, like it's a lot of guys that's been open about getting the cut up. Like Drake, you have to lead the revolution. You have to spark these young niggas.
He would be the biggest nigga to do so, though.
He would be the most popular nigga.
Yeah.
You gotta pull it out. I mean, it's obvious.
I don't know if that's the hill that you want to die on, my guy.
I mean, it's obvious that he's getting cut up. I mean,
it's obvious though.
You can see it in the pictures that he did release. There wasn't enough editing that you could do to put the belly button in the right place.
Drake is really such a bad bitch. Like,
I can't be mad at him though, because when you're a pop star, I mean, you're held to a particular image. Like, you kind of got, like, people were saying doing it for the women, but honestly, he's doing it for the men.
Men do stuff for men all the time.
I mean, it's not even.
It's okay because women do stuff for women all the time. Y'all just think that it's gay when you say that, like, you do stuff for other men's approval. It's completely fine. These are your peers. You want their approval.
Like people don't think about it. Like, honestly, if you keep it in 100, Drake, you have enough money and fame that a woman's pretty much gonna do whatever you want to do for you. Like, you don't need abs for her to do that.
No.
So you're getting the abs because you want to flex on the men and look like you're a real kind of masculine man, and that's just the honest truth about it.
You want to look like you got it all, for real.
You want to flex on the average Joe or the average guy, or your peers by saying like, oh, I can make slaps and I got abs you can cut bacon off of. And it's like, we know that it's not true, dog. We know, like, you
washboard abs.
You don't have that. Those are generated. Those are AI generated abs. For real.
They're doctor in surgically inputted abs.
Those are test tube abs.
Yeah.
Those were old cow meat.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? They took fat from a dying Asian man.
Not stem cell abs.
Yeah, like you got abortion abs.
Oh my God. Is that Adonis's fucking stem cells? Did you use the umbilical cord for your muscle, for your ab muscle?
Those are abortion abs.
BBL fucking bad bitch surgery, Drake? Is that what you did? Allegedly? Nah, I'm kidding.
Those are abortion abs.
That was absolutely unhinged.
Full of stem cells. Those are Christopher Reeve abs.
Okay, so there's more on this.
Oh, it's a ton.
It's a ton. So apparently, after all of the songs came out, the Texas cemetery where Megan's mother, Holly Thomas, was laid to rest, was doxxed.
Okay, got released.
So, doxing is like slang for like sending documents. So like releasing documents. So like it's when somebody's information is released without their consent. So this includes bank information, addresses, phone numbers, criminal history,
Identification.
and job history, things of that nature. So it's the shortened version of dropping documents. So the Texas cemetery where Megan's mom has been laid to rest has been doxxed, which is absolutely unhinged and unnecessary. Like, that's so weird of y'all. That is very weird of y'all. Whoever felt it necessary to put that information on the internet, like, why?
Is it true that it got vandalized?
No. So her mother's gravestone was not vandalized. The cemetery did raise security.
Okay.
And then they did let TMZ know that like security was raised around this because of the beef that's going on with Nicki and Meg, and the fact that it was doxxed and they're getting harassing calls and things of that nature.
Yeah, like the barbs. I gotta realize this is just a hip hop beef. This isn't drill.
Like, that's really crazy.
You don't gotta go to your ops, you know what I'm saying, loved ones resting place and feel like you got desecrated. Like,
so there's like cops and
please don't do that.
Increased personnel at that funeral. I mean, at that cemetery now because of all of this beef, which is crazy. Like, that's really crazy.
Leave that to the hood rappers. Leave that to the dirty hood rappers, okay?
Yeah.
We like when they do it, not when, come on, this high profile women here.
Yeah, this is not ladylike behavior. So, so many more people have been doxxed when they speak out against Nicki Minaj. Like, just like people on Twitter, people on TikTok. If you posted a video like not in favor of Nicki Minaj, then there's a possibility that you will be doxxed.
So us.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you saw that TikToker, that white boy that posted that video, and he completely dragged Nicki Minaj, and he called her. His name is, I think, Bella Delagio. So he posted it on Saturday, January 24th. It was like right after everything happened. And he said he deleted the video now, but he said that she's, quote, a disgusting and reprehensible person by pretty much all metrics of basic humanity and common decency. So he went on, I think it was like a 3-minute video. I didn't even watch the whole thing because I don't like hearing white men's opinions on anything having to do with us at all. I don't care what your opinion is. But he was doxxed, and he's autistic. We now know that this is an autistic man, and he's been doxxed, and he took his videos down. He's been getting death threats and things of that nature. And there's a list of people, a whole list of people that have been doxxed. So in on that list, TikToker Keita Rose, Jasmine's Garden, Terry Joe, and Kimberly Nicole Foster on Twitter. And then the list goes on and on and on of like other people. I think this is absolutely insane.
Oh, for sure.
This is not real life. This is literally just like Nicki Minaj does not know who you are. And Nicki has not said anything to de-weaponize her fan base at all. She's just letting it happen.
Historically, though, when has she ever?
She never has. So let's get into how Nicki Minaj weaponizes her fan base, and not just Nicki Minaj. Like, are you responsible for how your fan base behaves as an artist or as a public figure?
I think to a degree. If you're not openly speaking out against something, then yeah, you're definitely you're definitely part of it. You're part of the problem.
Okay. Yeah, I also, like she should have tweeted a couple days ago to stop doing this. So there is a video that I do want to play for you to show you exactly how unhinged, and I do want you to put it up, to show you how unhinged Nicki Minaj fans are.
Okay.
All right, so here it is. Absolutely unhinged. So this is a TikTok. And this is a barb. He's going to somebody's house and putting a note on their door. The note says, like, don't ever speak on Nicki again or else or something like that. Like,
yo, y'all really feel like Nicki love y'all that much?
that is absolutely crazy.
Like, they got folks. You seen what happened with Ruby Rose? They exposed her close friends.
Oh, yeah.
That's,
I saw that. She was talking about how Nicki Minaj is evil.
hold on, I got it right up here. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
I can pull it up. So, Ruby Rose, Nicki Minaj, evil as fuck. Only option is to marry a pedophile, bitch ass. I mean, excuse me, bitch evil. Pretty in the face. Well, that's nice.
Yeah, she is gorgeous.
But
You can't
body
take that from
botched
her.
as fuck.
Mm.
Evil spirit ass bitch. Old as fuck.
Ruby can definitely call somebody body botch because that body be bodying, period.
Trying to keep up. Ozempic really saved your big
Ozempic?
back self. Beefing with these young girls so lame. Bitch wash. You're 40. Take care of Papa and your drug addiction. Bringing up the kid is that's wild.
Yeah. So speaking of her drug addiction, that is also something that Ken Barbie mentioned, I think, in his tweet because it was very long. So let me just really read it real quick. She said, or he said, how are you going to buy anybody's catalog when you got liens on your publishing and your tour deal? You blew your advance. Let me skip forward to the you want to holler that people judge your disgusting ass husband because they're not used to being loved. But you know who is used to being loved exactly like you? Wendy Williams. He loved her pockets to the end, letting her do all types of drugs so he could keep digging in that purse while you sitting up there looking like an ass. That man is keeping you all drugged up and mixing your coke with horse tranquilizers. Call back to the last episode, Proxy War. And Ozempic so he can make you more stupid while taking your money and making you look crazy. You have to buy love. I'm not going to finish. He went off, and this is all alleged, and he don't know the woman, so he's also a crazy person, a little bit. But he did get public records when it came to the liens and things of that nature and on her publishing and the fact that her next tour is basically in the hole because she blew her advance. So he had all the documents. Do you think we should just put them up real quick?
Yeah, I'll bring some of them up.
Yep. Documents. So yeah. And then that is everything I think I have on the Nicki and Meg beef. We learned what doxxing was.
We educated the masses.
We did, and the people are unhinged, and stan culture is really scary because these people feel like they know Nicki Minaj and they feel like they have to defend her. And Nicki Minaj would not spit on you if you were on fire. She wouldn't.
If anything, somebody needs to get her a little help. It's just that bad, man. Like, again, I can understand, and the problem is going to be is that a lot of the forces in the media is going to enable her behavior. They're going to continue to do it, like Joe did. Joe, it wasn't no reason why you couldn't just cut that live off. I mean, cut that spaces off.
I mean, yeah, but Joe is a media personality, so like technically.
But
like,
don't tell
we're
me you care about her
supposed
no
to-
more. Don't care.
No,
Don't ever
yeah.
say you care about her no more.
Yeah, we're supposed
Don't ever
to
say that's
exploit
your
people.
sister. Don't say that. That's all I'm saying is, you know me. We ain't in this for friends. If we gonna let the motherfucker go. You know what I'm saying? That's just gonna be how we give it up.
Yeah.
But don't say that no more because that didn't have to happen. There's a lot of people who she did some stuff on her own live. Once you seen her up there, she started getting sporadic. You could have cut that shit, but you didn't. So, hey, this is gonna look bad for her. I think at the end of the day, even though she's going to be enabled, I think it's gonna be like Israel and Palestine. I think everybody's gonna be promoting her like Israel, but the people, the masses, they're gonna be with Meg's side like it's Palestine.
Yeah.
So it's bad, man, because it sucks. And I'll just say this last point, because a lot of y'all girls that's hating on Nicki, y'all had them bangs. I remember.
Oh my God. Like, I literally, I think Nicki is unhinged right now, but I wanted that like pink track in the back.
I remember y'all had that.
So bad. But my mom, my Haitian ass mom, was not letting me get no type of pink hair. Period, point blank. But like, I remember y'all had the little tops. We all
and
wanted to
everything.
Emulate her at one point or
y'all
another.
had the little skinny jeans on like her. I remember. So all y'all that's hating, make sure y'all know that y'all hating on someone that pay homage. Nicki was slick, like how we talked about how a lot of the girls was able to use the internet to learn how to do makeup. She was y'all first model. That was the first person y'all modeled yourself off. Remember that.
Body wise and all that.
Remember
like, Nicki
that.
was one of the.
That was the first time, because this was something I was realizing. Y'all really didn't know, because even with Lil' Kim was such a I wouldn't say extravagant, but she was so extra with it that it wasn't really something you could copy, because it was
no,
so
you
like
couldn't copy her.
So, but Nicki was more tangible, and because that was like the first time y'all got to see a woman that collectively a lot of guys liked, because she was in hip hop and was popular and her bars were good, that it kind of had y'all gravitate to.
We were very enamored with her.
Because before then, it was just like, when I was in high school and younger, the women that we talked about wasn't in hip hop or R&B. They was porn stars. And y'all wasn't watching the porn that we was watching. Like, that wasn't happening in high school and middle school. So it wasn't until that one girl came and y'all was able to be like, oh, so this is what the guys like. So put respect on her, on Auntie. Put respect on Auntie.
Not Auntie.
Put respect on her. That's all
Lord.
I'm saying. All right, so let's switch gears a little bit.
Yeah, what are we getting into next?
We got to
like
talk
that
about.
I remembered to not unplug it this time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was good. You learning. You learning. So this is we're gonna be taking two little things that happened in the headlines, and I'm gonna kind of blur them in together. But it's gonna start with Shaquille O'Neal. So he had Country Wayne. Shout out to our guy. This is the third time he's been mentioned in our show. But he was on.
Is he like doing
He's probably
dropping
on the run.
a special or something?
I'm pretty sure there's something coming out.
He's promoting something.
He's selling. It's the top of the year. A lot of comedians like to do stuff at the top of the year because they can sell out for their tours later on. So this is him and Country Wayne talking about opening up to women.
It's like a relationship. The day you fall off, that woman ain't interested as you think.
Yeah, once you start complaining and dragging your feet.
She don't want to hear no complaint. The day you come home and think you could be like, baby, I was down, I lost it. She gonna be stroke your ego, but she gonna remember that time. You cannot let them see you one time down. The world can't see your head down one time.
Ever. Talk about it.
So I tell people.
I want you both to know that you can.
No.
Like, and I know that you've experienced.
Cannot.
I don't want to get to like Dr. Phil shit.
Doug.
Right now.
No,
That's
but
not-
You don't
not
think
your
you've
life.
ever had someone that you really could trust and really open up?
Nope.
Now, if you want to keep it, now if you want to give somebody else some coochie all the time, you know what I'm saying if you want to bad, I'm just being real.
No, I guess.
you open up to a woman?
Yeah.
Never. No, never.
When's the last time you think you've opened up to a woman?
We don't.
Your whole life.
Bro, I'm telling you, they
Yeah,
gon'
got players like I could. Me and him related.
Yeah.
It's our first time meeting,
Yeah,
but
I can tell you guys.
yeah,
There's
no,
some
no.
connection here,
Oh no.
If they gonna tell you can.
Because you know why?
but it's a trap.
Because you know why?
I'm trapped
No.
like a motherfucker.
No, I'm gonna tell you why. Because once you do, whenever something go down, they're gonna throw it back in your face.
I've had
That's why.
that.
Real.
That's why. So you cannot.
So Shaq brought up an interesting point about, when you fall short, especially in their community, when you're somebody who is a high earner provider, when you fall, the reminder that you fell is a higher. So before we got to talk into this, because a lot of people were shitting on Shaq, saying like, oh, look at him trying to talk down, saying, oh, women ain't gonna be there. I think it's pretty interesting to talk about somebody else before we get into it, which was Miss Gayle King. And she had this to say about an individual that she dated prior. So Shaq's example, bringing it up again.
Do you think you could lend me $4,000? And I'm like, oh, God. Asked what it's for. He said, yeah, it was for a child support issue. Do you think
So she went on to say, and this is from the Black Billionaires, and this is the whole tweet says, Gayle King said she loaned a man that she was dating 2 months, for 2 months, $4,000 to cover his child support issues. He paid, this quote, he paid back in time, but I never looked at the relationship the same. I couldn't get over it via the pivot. So she was on the pivot with Ryan Clark and those guys. And this is where it's tough, where it's like, that's exactly what he's saying. Point blank, period. So this is not no run of the mill, pull her out the jigaboo black woman. This is Gayle King.
Yeah.
This is a top tier elite black woman bringing up a situation in which a man paid her back the money that he needed.
Real
but
quick,
she still couldn't look.
She really picked the best friend. Continue.
She picked who, Oprah?
Yeah. The best friend.
Yeah, they can just be rich and bitter together. But no, this is where a lot of guys talk about where you can't be.
I hope y'all bumping
vulnerable.
Purses. I really do. I hope y'all bumping purses.
And they make Stedman watch. But
ooh, yes.
This is where it comes down to. So I can't. To me, when I hear stories like this and I see interactions like this, people will say "Hey, why don't you hold your brothers accountable when they're doing X, Y, and Z wrong?" And it's because this is the risk. The risk isn't worth the reward in that situation. For me to tell somebody, "Hey, you need to be this kind of individual," when I know at your first failure, you're going to be looked at like you always fail. I'm not going to be mad at you for falling. They'll be saying "Oh, why y'all don't be saying nothing to y'all homeboys when they be doing X, Y, and Z?" Because I know if my homeboy fails at his work or his job, that girl going to leave him anyway. Not because she's there for the money, but because he can't hold up his own anymore. So if he's holding up his own and he's able to do it to effect where he might do something else, I'm not going to say, "Oh, he shouldn't be doing it." I'm not going to tell him, "Oh, you wrong for that." I may not live that life for myself, but I'm not going to tell somebody else who's worked hard and done all this time to create this lifestyle that he shouldn't be able to experience it the way he should. I'm not going to shit on his parade.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I think those two topics kind of in line. I do want to hear your thoughts on it as well, because I talked about it prior too, where it's y'all don't have examples of how to really be in relationships when y'all hear women who are at the top of the top sound like this. So what does that make you think when you hear this, what Shaq said in regards to being able to open up with women, and then seeing what Gayle brought up in that conversation with the pivot?
I think what Shaq said is a sentiment that men have had for a very long time. Men of all socioeconomic levels have this same problem with women. They open up to us, and then when we get into the heat of the moment, we use your vulnerability as ammo, which I don't know what the fuck that's about. Honestly, I really don't. I wish I looked into this before, and I wish I knew psychologically what that was about, because it has to be some type of warfare on our part.
No, I think it's very interesting too, because she said that on the same podcast that Shaq was on, where he talked about some of the flaws he had with him and his wife, and how he was cheating and stuff like that. But you kind of gotta put things in perspective. If you feel like you can't open up to the woman that you call your wife, and you can't share your vulnerabilities with her because you feel like it's in fear it's going to bring you back and take you, of course you're going to cheat. Of course you're going to respond the way you did because you're not even with her for legitimate reasons.
Shaq was gonna cheat regardless, though. But
I mean,
yeah, get that off.
That's why I don't feel
ahead.
like when everybody was kind of bringing it up,
that
trying
nigga
to-
was gonna cheat whether he could like openly cry in the fetal position on her lap, sucking her titty or not. Like,
I can't say that he would cheat. I can say that if he felt more comfortable.
you
No,
can't
listen.
that he would cheat.
No, because see, this is what your idea. Your idea of cheating, him just sleeping with other women. My idea is he's saying, I'm going to sleep with other women, but I'm going to do it with you knowing that it's happening. And you're going to understand what's going on. There's a difference between opening up with a woman and being vulnerable, and that's a real thing.
Yeah.
Hey, I love you. You are the mother of my children, but I am the big ticket. I mean, excuse me, he's not the big ticket. I'm the big diesel. I'm Superman. So you know what? When I go to Milwaukee, there's a shawty that I like that she gonna get it when I go over there. And you gonna still have this house and this mansion, and she gonna have a little apartment and a little Honda. And that's just what it is. But I can, if I'm not able to
You
open
better
be
say
vulnerable.
Lil Honda.
I'm just saying.
You better, nigga.
When you Shaq, when you him, like it's just a different kind of lifestyle.
You
and
better not show this bitch a life of luxury.
I mean, it may not be a luxury, but it might be a luxury apartment. But that's what I'm just saying, where it's like it's a different lifestyle and you have to be able to communicate that. And if you can't communicate that, then you get caught up in cheating situations where now you being exposed when you could have just been like, hey, I love you to death. I want you to have this lifestyle. I want you to still be in the house so I can be with my kids. But you just going to understand that you ain't going to be the only one. And that comes from really being vulnerable and open to your partner.
Mm-hmm.
Because if anybody can do it, it's
Oh
Shaq.
my God, I guess.
I'm just saying.
I guess.
You can't
It
ask.
does come from a place of honesty and transparency for you to be like, I don't want to cheat on you, but I do want to get things from other people that I can't get everything from you.
And you have to understand when you with somebody like that's probably gonna be a concession that you have to do. Because look at her now. She's
100%.
She created basketball wives solely off of his name. That's crazy.
She's a television executive
off of his last name.
Yeah.
Solely nothing else. Like respectfully talking, like yes, she put in the work and she worked with the networks and all that stuff, but none of that work is value if you don't get on your back for Shaquille O'Neal.
I don't like the way you worded
that's just real.
Reword that.
That's just real talk. If she doesn't have Shaq's kids and gets married from Shaq, who is she?
She networked correctly.
Oh, but she can. All I'm ever saying is this, and this is what a lot of people.
I'm just saying your wording is very aggressive, sir.
It's because I have a very true belief that everybody's work isn't valued the same. Everybody's Everybody's hard work isn't valued the same.
Because who you were married to.
I'm just saying. Well,
because who you open.
But
like what?
It's not just that. It's married, had kids for, was in a high profile relationship with. Like it all stems from that.
Yeah, all that.
Like all that had a high profile divorce. Like all of that puts you in the news. All of that puts you out there. Had a high profile TV show. So I mean, the only reason I bring all that up is because people brought that up when he was on the pivot, and just to see this example be brought up by somebody like Gayle King, I can't be mad at how the brothers respond, especially when they up. Like you want these guys to say, oh, why can't you be a faithful man when you have all this money and stuff? It's because is it really worth me being faithful if I can't tell somebody, hey, I love you, I want you to be in my life, and they remain in my life even though I'm going to be with other women, and they just gotta understand that. Now I gotta lie to you and tell you, I'm not doing it. And I gotta hide and make sure I'm paying for extra. Now I'm wasting money just because I gotta lie to you.
Mm-hmm.
When you know I'm that nigga, you should just accept, hey, this will come with being with that nigga. Nigga wasn't swinging. If nigga ain't swinging,
you
man.
gotta know that from jump. Like, if I was one of these girls that was dating rappers and shit like that, I feel like I would definitely have the mindset that, like, this nigga gonna cheat.
So do you feel like with Gayle King, like, do you think that those examples have been, like, taught to y'all just so poorly from people in her position?
What are you asking? Reword.
I feel like people in her position will tell individuals to shoot for the stars per se, but really in reality, most people are just going to get into the atmosphere. And so instead of telling people what's going to be probably best interest for them, they tell them what benefits her. So she's going to tell women, oh, follow your career, do all this X, Y, and Z, but then she is this person who would bring up this kind of conversation to shit on a guy. Like, what kind of example is that for someone who says, I want to be a wife, but then also want to be a career woman? Granted, Gayle King isn't a wife, but that would be somebody who a wife would aspire to be in a way, professionally.
That was mad. You made the question longer.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah, I don't know what in all of those words was the question. I don't know what it was.
How did you feel like that leadership from women that are in those positions are being shown to y'all when it comes to being involved with other men or being involved with men? Are they showing y'all right leadership? Or
if you're taking relationship advice from people whose relationships you don't actually like know the ins and outs of, like in your personal life, I feel like you're stupid. If you're
but like, okay,
if you're taking relationship advice,
but it's not even just advice. It's a stigma too.
If you're listening and trying to model yourself after somebody who is not successful in a part of their life that is important to you, that you're trying to be successful in, that's just dumb.
But she is though. If I'm trying to be professionally someone like Gayle King.
Well, if I'm trying to be married, I wouldn't listen to Gayle King. If I'm trying to be a journalist,
but you know what
y'all a professional woman, I'll listen to Gayle King.
But y'all not that's not painted to y'all that way. It is painted. I can have everything. I can be the mom. I can have my career. I can be the wife. Like, it's told to y'all, I can be all everything. And we both know time is 24 hours in a day. You can't. You got to be asleep for 8 of them. You can't do all that. You're going to fall in different areas in regards to that. And it doesn't seem like it's real women in her position that's sitting there and being like, hey, sometimes you got to pick. And this is what it looks like when you pick. At least Ebony K started to be honest with women and saying that, even though she's still on the BS. You heard about what happened with this Chiefs fan?
No.
So there was a Chiefs, the game just happened this weekend. There was a Chiefs fan who had a few friends over at his house. And apparently the authorities came over and they found 3 of his friends dead in his backyard. So I'm going to read this. I had a tweet.
That's crazy.
So apparently people have been calling this dude about, the guy that the backyard that they found. They've been calling him for 2 days. This nigga said he was asleep for those 2 days, and that's why he missed the call. So this is from Colin Ruggs. Footage shows police cuffing and then releasing HIV scientists after 3 dead Kansas City Chiefs fans in his backyard. So he names the people. The most alarming fact was that the mysterious death is that the bodies were in his backyard for 2 whole days. When family members called, visited the home, Willis did not respond. It wasn't until his fiance broke into the basement and found one of the bodies in the backyard that the police were called. Let's see what else. He said he came out drinking a glass of wine in his underwear before being cuffed. He then told that he didn't realize his friends were still in his backyard until the police showed up at his door.
So apparently he just checked into rehab.
Oh, he just recently did after he bailed out?
10 hours ago, yeah.
Oh, that nigga did
said
it.
he checked into rehab.
Oh, that nigga allegedly did it.
And his family is awaiting the toxicology results.
So apparently, like, I feel like this man might have did some Dexter stuff to him. And then just left him in the backyard while it was cold. Because it's Kansas City.
That's crazy.
He got out on bail?
Yeah.
That's wild. So you trying to tell me and these is all white men, just so y'all know.
Mm-hmm. Obviously.
3 bodies in the backyard, and I'm going to let him go out on bail? That's insane.
He went into rehab to face his addiction head on.
So that means he admitting that something happened. No?
Yeah.
Because what does your addiction have to do with this?
I think him going into rehab is probably trying to solidify the fact that he was passed out in the house for 2 days. Like, that's probably what his defense is trying to, like, if I was his lawyer, I'd be like, go to rehab, say that you have a drug problem. Then you'd be like, that's why I was passed out in the house for 2 days and didn't hear anybody calling me. didn't know that there were people dead in my backyard is because I was doing mad drugs when everyone was here. I passed out when everyone was here, and I did not know what the fuck happened.
That's just not gonna flow. That's just not gonna fly at all. I'm not having that. Y'all gotta bring this nigga back to jail. Raise the bail up another $500,000. Cause that ain't we can't go for that. And then he doing the HIV scientists.
So who the people that died were HIV scientists?
No, apparently from what I just read from that tweet, he is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, releasing HIV scientists after finding 3 years. So
his friends froze to death.
No, they found any sign of foul play on their bodies or anything in the autopsy?
It said that they froze to death.
Man, ain't no way 3 men freezing to death outside on their own fruition.
Were all of them doing mad drugs? Like, that's why they're waiting they're probably waiting the toxicology results from the deceased and from him.
He's probably gonna get a crazy
because if they have the same like concoction of drugs in their system, then maybe everyone just passed the fuck out and some people passed out outside and he just happened to pass out inside because it's his house. And it's just like a freak accident. Or maybe he dextered them.
I'm going with the Dexter theory until proven otherwise. Been a lot of stuff that's been going on, man, in these little suburban neighborhoods. Remember the dude, Virginia, who blew his house up?
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of crazy stuff that's been going on, man. A lot of crazy stuff that's been going on.
He was in his underwear and holding a wine glass when police arrived.
Yeah, that's why I was reading that last part off.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he was nuts. But we'll definitely fill y'all in if we get any more information. That's crazy. Those guys didn't get to see the Chiefs go to the Super Bowl this year. Let's get into this journalist in Houston. So this was probably one of the ones I seen in the docket that kind of upset me when I was just coming through, because this is so disrespectful, man. So Billy Binion, he tweeted out that this journalist Priscilla Varel, a few years back, the police in Texas arrested her because of the work is often critical of them. Last week, a federal court said that the cops didn't necessarily violate her rights, and everybody got qualified immunity. So basically, she lives in Texas. She has a pretty big following on Facebook where she's exposing the local police. In 2017, the police launched a criminal investigation on her. They subpoenaed her along with several people's phone records. What they were basically saying was that she acquired information incorrectly from the police officers. All she did was she called up, asked them about what was going on, and somebody told her. That's for real. That's what happened.
She literally just executed her rights as a citizen.
She called in and was basically asking what was going on. Somebody told her what happened, and the police officers got upset about it because she was able to, produce that. So they were saying that the reason why what she did was illegal because she stand to benefit from the information coming out. Now let's use common sense.
Are they saying that she should have announced that she was a journalist when she called and asked for the information in the first
place?
place?
No, they're saying the fact that the way that she acquired the information and she released it, the reason why it's illegal is because she quote unquote stand to benefit because she would get
monetarily,
following potentially, monetary gains for it, all that kind of stuff, which is what every newspaper does. Every media publication that's a business does this.
Every journalist, when they expose things, gets a following because they did their job as a journalist.
But she already had this one, but they're trying to basically say that, she would acquire more of a following because of what she did. And it's just all BS. And the reason why this bothers me so much is because you hear about everybody says, free speech, or I should be able to say what I want to say. And when free speech is violated in people's faces, nobody goes to bat for this. Mm-hmm. When y'all want to call people racial slurs, homophobic slurs, when y'all want to trash people for living lives that you don't agree with, y'all want to say it's free speech then. But then when it comes to actual journalism being stopped, if there isn't for people like her, like these people can do whatever they want. These authorities, these cops can think they can do whatever they want without impunity. Like just imagine these officers don't have people checking in, and they hold people, black people. Let's just say they holding black people on higher bonds than they supposed to be. Who's supposed to know that?
Nobody but journalists are gonna hold people accountable when it comes to police, when it comes to government officials. That's why journalism is called like the unofficial fourth branch of the government, because
It's the fourth estate.
everyone goes unchecked if not for journalists. And journalism is a hot fucking mess right now. But people like her need to be protected. Journalists who are actually putting in the work, doing the investigative journalism, and giving their communities information so that you guys can make your own decisions about what you want to do moving forward as citizens of that area. So, like, everyone should have rallied behind her organization, whatever platform she was using to post on. Like, I think everyone should have rallied against her. And I feel it's highly concerning, because there are laws that protect journalists. Specifically, if you're not publishing anything that is a lie, that's it. You can publish it.
And the problem that this really came out of this is that the courts found that the police didn't do anything wrong in their harassment. Like, they allowed them to be able to do exactly everything she did, and there's no accountability to be had for the authorities.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's the problem that's really wrong. And I know, Elon Musk, you getting shorted to oblivion right now. I know that they killing you. You didn't had lost your little $55 billion payment package. Hey, eat the rich. But if you care about free speech, why aren't you helping this purple-haired lady from Texas? I thought you cared about free speech.
Yep.
Or do you just care about talking about groups that you hate and making sure people can't talk about you on your platform? Because I see that Tesla stock going. It's going down to the ground.
People yell about free speech when they want to spew hate about other people.
This nigga got to gas his little Neuralink program when folks have been doing this kind of Neuralink stuff for years. Yeah, you're putting it inside of somebody, but let's see if it works. Let's see what you can do. We see you desperate. You real desperate.
He really is, yeah.
All right, man.
What's next?
Let's see.
What is next?
Let's give our condolences first for the black soldiers that lost their life in the attack overseas. You know, with everything going on, I think that it sucks, man. Like, anytime I see like black officers die, like there was one that happened in Atlanta that was in a chase scene. Mm-hmm. And then I see black soldiers. That was 3 black soldiers. So Sergeant William Jerome Rivers, 46, of Carlton. Kennedy London, I don't know what rank that is, but Kennedy London Sanders, 24, of Waycross, and Brianna Mafietta Savannah. They all lost their life in an attack. Looks like it was in Syria. Attack in Jordan near the Syrian border. Mm-hmm. At one of our bases. You're not going to see a lot of talk about this because these soldiers don't look like the type of soldiers that you need to promote a story like this. But you know, RIP to those people. And I just hate seeing our people in armed forces or law enforcement, because those ain't set up for us.
No,
those ain't set up for us to win. Granted, yeah, you got, you know, people who go up through the ranks, but those systems were developed to keep us back, man. And I just hate that, to see people who I know that are just doing it just to make an honest living, have to be associated with a government and a military who's done such atrocities. It sucks. All right, another thing that happened in Georgia. Fulton County, Georgia, has been hit with a cyber attack. So this happened.
Lots been going on over here.
I'm telling you, an unexpected outage had downed county's phone systems and brought certain online transactions as a halt, including these filing of property taxes, firearm, and marriage license. The county was in a statement posted on a website. Most offices were unavailable to accept calls, and this was according to Bloomberg. So they told us to warn us. They said, we worried about the cyber attacks.
Leave the world behind.
The World War III. They said what? Afghanistan, was it Afghanistan?
No, we
Egypt.
need satellite phones though, for real. Like the little. We need to invest in one of them.
We could probably get one.
Yeah.
Just to be on the safe side.
Just a little kit.
I mean, like I said, it's a lot of stuff that's been going on, man. You got to pay attention to this geopolitical field because, man, it's a lot, man. Egypt, Ethiopia, and Iran, and Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. I think I said that wrong. They've all joined BRICS, so that's the Chinese business in regards to a lot of the finances overseas. So hey, man, BRICS. I know it's about finances, but that can become a military group
very quickly
in one night.
Things can
in one conversation.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to some reviews. Do we have anything else to get into before we?
I mean, other than that, the other thing that happened in Georgia that was really interesting is the protesters that changed themselves to that development because the developer is the company that's building Cop City, and there've been like a couple attacks and things on that specific company because of their support for Cop City. So shout outs to y'all and keep doing that. Definitely.
It was also another one that happened in the city as well, where they were protesting against Cop City again. And like I said, y'all are the real heroes. Like, not these officers, not these folks who are government officials, the folks who are really out here putting yourselves on the line. Y'all are the real heroes. I commend y'all. I want to make sure that, hey, if y'all can support these people, whatever organizations that you can donate, please do. These folks deserve it, man. They are putting themselves, their freedom on the line for something that they believe in. And I know a lot of us can't do that because we have people we care about, people that we love, responsibilities. But man, just a little, that $5 you was gonna use to buy a candy bar or put it into your, to something else that didn't need it, man. Try to support these organizations because they're out there doing the real work and the hard work that is going to benefit maybe not us, but our children. So
yeah,
just keep thinking it like that.
Donate to the bail funds because these people be getting arrested.
For sure. All right, so let's get into some movie reviews and some television shows.
Like we promised you, bringing the TV and the movies back to talk FNF TV for 2024. All right, so we watched some movies and some shows.
We earned our black card back.
We did.
We want to start with American Fiction.
Okay, so you can take lead on American Fiction.
All right, so we watched American Fiction. If y'all not familiar with the gentleman name, I think his name is Jeffrey. I want to make sure I say it correctly. If you've seen the Batman, he was what's his name? Gordon. Damn, I can't think of Lieutenant Gordon. He was in that movie. He was also in Casino Royale. He was the FBI agent.
Jeffrey Wright?
Jeffrey Wright, yep. So, he's also the Watcher in Marvel. So, pretty, well-to-do actor. So, American Fiction basically is about him. He's a professor, but also an author. And he's kind of a little bit in a rut career-wise. He's trying to find his next project. And in the midst of it,
he has a block. He hasn't written something in like about 3 years. And in the beginning of the movie, his publication, he has to take a leave.
Yep. So he takes a leave of absence and he ends up meeting up with his family. You find out that Tracy Ellis Ross is his sister. And
Lisa.
His mom is going through dementia.
Yes. So his mom is Agnes, played by Leslie Uggams.
So, of course, this is a black movie, so they could not afford Tracy Ellis Ross through the whole thing.
Dies immediately.
She dies within, before the first act is over with. She has a crazy heart attack while they're just at a dinner table talking about what they plan on doing.
Yeah. She's stressed. She's been going through a divorce. She lost everything in her divorce to her wife. And
yeah, I said, did they make it clear that she was a lesbian?
Yeah.
Okay.
She said her.
Yeah.
Like my wife, like the whole time. So she obviously was in a lesbian relationship. She also had children and she lost everything, including her kids and half of all of her things to her wife in the divorce. She's not really close to her brother like that, and she's been drinking the pain away.
So she has her heart attack abruptly, and that brings, most of the family in, and you end up learning that they also have another brother. He was also married
by Sterling K. Brown, Clifford.
And Sterling did his thing, man. He was actually a very standout character in this movie.
I loved him in this. I love Sterling K. Brown in everything, though. I think he has a really good like mixture of like being able to play very serious, like highbrow roles and being like a thespian for real, and then just being able to just be like a nigga, like a hilarious nigga for real. I love him.
He's shown, like, even with that movie he did with Regina King, he has a very good element of humor into how he does his acting performances.
Yes, he's amazing. I love him.
And so after that, you learn that he's their gay brother, but he was married to a woman
Can you
at
hear
first.
me? Okay, sorry.
He was married to a woman at first. They end up getting a divorce, and now he is in Arizona, living out his best gay dreams.
Yes.
So shout out to him. And then this is when the movie kind of starts to get into the meat of the movie. He writes. He's frustrated with where American fiction is for Black authors, and he writes very highbrow, very pristine work.
Yeah, like complicated works where like smart people enjoy his work, but like the masses don't enjoy his work because it's not like for the masses. It's for people who enjoy like reading. And
so in the beginning he sees a conference going on where he sees Issa Rae character, and she's introducing her book, and her book is like if Krishan Rock could spell. Like,
yeah.
That's
her
really
name
what
is Santara Gordon, and she's an author also.
So she reads off her book. It's like very baby mama-ish. I'm trying to get through the struggle type of conversation.
It's very like it's highly whatchamacallit? What's the word I'm looking for? It's like a caricature of blackness.
It's like if
her
Tyler
book,
Perry
100%.
had a GED.
Yeah, and it's not just like, it's like old school like slave colloquialisms mixed in with like hood stuff, and it's like I was about to bust the cap in your ass, like it just don't make no sense. So it's like highly parodied.
It was
her book.
Yeah, so
it's amazing.
That's where this whole kind of conversation kind of leads into. So he frustrated and seeing where the market's going, he just writes some BS because he kind of has to put a book out for his manager to kind of try to pitch, and he writes some BS.
Yeah, he throws every stereotype in there and puts like absolutely zero intelligence into it whatsoever.
So the manager gets it. He tells him it's trash, but he still sends it out. And just like you could kind of guess, the white people love it.
Oh my God, this is a masterpiece. It's like such an important telling of the Black story. It's so raw.
That's exactly how they were doing it. But an important caveat has to happen in this portion. They need him to match the type of person that's in this book. These two men are two different people. They're expecting someone from the streets,
yes,
prison, violent track record, and this man is nothing but that. Like I said, college professor.
So his name is
Arthur
Thelonious. His name is Thelonious. He comes from a family of doctors. As a PhD holding writer, he is the failure of his family because all of them are medical doctors. So like he's like the ugly duckling of his family as far as education, and he doesn't match up. I think it's hilarious. He doesn't match up with the type of blackness that his family expects him to be, or the white people expect him to be.
So he pretends to be an individual that spent time in jail and that wrote this book as an inspiration.
He literally says that he's like on the run.
Yeah. He like makes them think that he's literally on the run while he's writing this book. He never really shows his face. Everything they talk about is on the phone. And he gets to a point where he's so frustrated, like, why are they funding this awful piece of work that I've created, that he tries to take it to the great extreme, and he names the book Fuck.
Yeah, so the book initially is called My Pathology with a F. Not the
That was his
Not the
first try
TH.
at being at slang.
Yeah, so it was I think it is hilarious that he thought that pathology with the F was gonna be like hood enough. Like,
It's gonna take him to
niggas
the
in
next
the
level.
hood generally know what the fuck pathology means in the first goddamn place. Like, you're way too educated to even try to be a caricature of this in the first place, and the white people still fell for it.
They ate it up. That was exactly what it was exactly what they wanted to see, and they ate it up from him. Like that's
this
all it
was such it wasn't even real raw hoodness. Like, it was a caricature of hoodness from a black person who doesn't even know what that is to begin with, because that wasn't his life.
So it was interesting for us because one of the conversations that and criticism we've been having in regards to black art is its need to survive having to be followed by having a white audience.
It won't be marketed correctly if there's not some type of white
It won't
element
get
to it.
green light
Yeah.
if it's not having a white element to it. And that was what the main thing that he was kind of exposing without exposing it. Like, literally all the producers and all of the folks who were greenlighting projects were these folks who were so out of touch and only wanted to see extreme versions of blackness. And we got to understand where it's like the idea that people have of blackness isn't created by black people.
No.
It is curated by white people.
Because as black people, we know that blackness is entirely more complex than what we're represented as on the media.
No, for sure.
That's why when you get black stories that are told by black people that are on a smaller scale that aren't like super popular, then you do get slightly more nuanced characters. I think American Fiction was one of those like rare instances where we got a more nuanced black experience.
Yeah. And I think the only thing that kind of threw me off was the ending. So the movie ends kind of abruptly in a way where you kind of realize that.
Before you get there, I do want to, when you were saying that everything was greenlit by the black people,
White people.
The white people, I do want to point out that the only person who gave him pushback was black, the other author. So he was on this board that he got voted on to vote for like the best book of the year, and his book happened to be on that list, and he pushed back against it. And then all of the white people on the board voted for it, and then him and the other black author were the only ones who were like, no, this is not the black experience. This is not an important black story to tell. And these white people felt like the black voices that were put in this group specifically because there was no diversity, like they didn't listen to them at all. They were like, no, black people, this is an important black story for other black people, and this black voice needs to be heard regardless of how one-dimensional you think it makes black people look, because it's important for black people. I think that was so hilarious.
No, but
because who are you to tell black people what stories are important for them to hear? But that's what happens in Hollywood on a regular basis.
Yeah, but it also gets kind of tricky in that way because we're getting stories from black bourgeoisie people, and we're not going to get the stories from, like, they're disgusted by the poor black. So granted, we're not maybe getting the most highly thought out version of it, but there is a argument to be had where it's like, yeah, just because you say this is what you wanted to be the image of blackness doesn't mean it's going to directly reflect what the majority of black people going on. Because we have conversations with black people all the time where once we start talking about the actual finances of black people, they try to act like, oh, well, those aren't the black people I'm talking about. So we gotta keep that in mind. I'm not saying that it's a white executive's place to say that.
Yeah.
But I think it should be acknowledged.
I want to ask you, what do you think about the acting?
Well, hold on. Let's tell them what happened at the ending.
Okay, yeah.
So at the ending, it is abrupt a little bit. But you kind of realize that the whole thing that he was voting on, is, you don't really get that as real or not. You kind of get the understanding that this was a movie that he was selling to a producer, and they change up a few things, and he ends up selling the movie rights to the book to a producer, and
Yes.
that's just where the movie ends, with him just driving off. Whereas,
Well,
like,
he sells the movie rights, but as long as he gets he gets to write the movie.
yeah,
So that was his only caveat. So at the end, he's with the white producer, and the producer's like, we gotta add some razzle dazzle at the end. Like, this is not a novel, this is a movie. We can't just leave it like open ended. You can't just do your like artistic thing. People want to be satisfied, so we gotta give them something.
yeah. So they what was the? I can't remember exactly how he chose to end it. It was kind of wild.
So how he chose, they did a couple different endings. He does one like where he walks up on the stage when he's accepting his speech.
Yep.
And he's like, he says, I have a confession to make, and then it cuts off. He does another where
The police come.
he does another where he leaves the thing. Well, the woman, his love interest, walks in and he leaves with her or something like that. And then the last one that they decide is the ending of the movie is he's up there. And then remember, we told y'all that his persona was like a fugitive. So the FBI comes up and he's trying to be like, wait, no, my name is Thelonious. I'm not a fugitive at all. Like, y'all should know this. Like, I did nothing. I'm not a criminal at all. And then he walks out and then he gets shot up. And he gets unjustly killed by the police, like a lot of black men do, and that's the end of the movie. And then that is the ending that the white producer likes the most. Again, because Hollywood loves black trauma. So that's what they end up with, and that's how the movie ends.
Yep.
He gets shot up,
Yeah.
which is hilarious. That we finally, like I said, got a slightly more nuanced black story, but it still ended up in the black man being shot and killed by the police. Like, hilarious. I love this movie.
So no, it was a good movie. I'm glad we got to see that. So yeah, it's up there. So if you can't, check it out. Do we have anything to add before we finish up for that one?
What do you think about the?
You said when acting, right?
I want to talk about the performances. Yeah.
I wasn't mad at the performances. I think Sterling probably was the best performance out of them.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely stole the show.
Sterling's story was very nuanced. His father died before he figured out that he was gay. I love when we tell black gay men's stories that are also a little bit more nuanced. He wasn't like, he was just like a man who happened to be gay also, and he was a baby gay at like 40 years old, which also I don't think I've seen that experience told through a black man's perspective. And he was going through all of his trying to figure out like who he is, and like his parents don't accept. And his mom, even though she's going through Alzheimer's and dementia, there's a scene where they're in the nursing home and then she's like, I knew you weren't a sissy.
No, I thought she said a queer.
Yeah, she said, oh yeah. She was like, I knew you weren't a queer. They're like dancing, they're having a good time. She just like went through a whole mental break. He finally calmed her down and she's like, I knew you weren't a queer. And then he just walks away.
Yeah, he just breaks down. It was
Yeah,
sad.
he's just like you could tell he was just so defeated.
Yeah, because they had a rough relationship. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was pretty much.
I just wanted to give a little quick shout out to Myra Taylor, who played Lorraine, and Raymond Anthony, who played Maynard. I thought that was just like a really nice little like heartwarming part of the movie. Two old black people finding love with each other and getting married really quickly. I just thought that was really heartwarming. I thought that was a good little tidbit to throw into the movie, and it made it really nice for me.
And
I like this movie a lot.
And shout out to Erica Alexander, who was the love interest for Monk.
Yes.
I will say this: I did feel him.
Coraline.
It was one scene that it resonated with me when she said that she liked his bad book. And she talked about it. I felt that. I could feel where it's like, yo, I respected what you cared about and what you loved, and this is what you talking about. What you into now is my trash. I felt I understand where he could feel disrespected in that. So yeah,
because I specifically thought she wasn't gonna like that. Oh, this isn't the charger. Um, so the next movie that we're gonna get into is Book of Clarence, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Book of Clarence stars Lakeith Stanfield. So he's like this like street smart guy who's like down on his luck. He's struggling to find his way for him and his family, his mother specifically. He's trying to like free himself of debt. He's in the beginning of the movie, it starts with like a little street race. So him and his best friend are racing Mary Magdalene, who's played by Tiana Taylor, and her beautiful ass. And he loses the street race. Oh my God. So
And he gets robbed.
yes, by some gypsy kids. So he's captivated by the power and the glory of the Messiah, right? So let me move back a little bit. He loses the race. This race was very important because he borrowed money from, what's his name? Jebediah the Terrible.
Yeah.
So this is like the big bad guy. This is like the guy of the town, Jerusalem, apparently.
And to give you a little more backstory, so this movie takes place in a satirical biblical setting.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a satire biblical movie here. And so that's why you're going to hear things that are similar to, you know, Jesus, Peter, Judas Iscariot. Like you're going to hear those names that get brought up in this movie because it's essentially like basically there's a disciple named Thomas. If you read the Bible, in this story, he has a twin brother named Clarence.
Yeah, so Clarence is played by Lakeith Stanfield, and then
So is Thomas.
Jesus Apostle is also played by Lakeith Stanfield.
No,
and
okay, say that one more time.
Jesus Apostle, his apostle Thomas,
Yeah, okay.
also played by Lakeith Stanfield, and they live with Lakeith Clarence lives with his mother, Marion G. Baptiste, and so after this race, he's in like a bunch of trouble because Ivan the Terrible is literally not Ivan the Terrible. That is literally not.
That's a white man.
Yeah. That just like where did that come from?
That's a real person's name.
I know it is, but like that just came out of nowhere. Jebediah the Terrible is going to crucify him. Like he's literally gonna crucify him. So he gets baptized in hopes that word will spread that he has he's become a man of God, because Clarence does not believe in Jesus.
Shout out to the atheists.
Or his miracles. So he hopes that the news of him being a man of God will spread and will stop Jebediah from crucifying him. Everyone calls his bluff, though, and they're like, we know what you're doing. So eventually...
Well, John the Baptist wouldn't give him a baptism. He tried to drown him.
He literally... yeah, he tried to drown him.
He went to Buddy's sister, who was his love interest.
Who also happens to be Jebediah the Terrible's...
That's what I say, his sister.
Oh, Buddy, yeah.
He went to Buddy's sister.
Jebediah's
sister. She was no help. She wasn't going to look out for him.
No.
So then he even went to his brother, and he asked to be the 13th disciple.
And his brother laughed in his face, and he was like, you're not good enough. You've always been a joke.
Yeah, they all laughed at him, but they gave him a test. They told him if he can go free the slaves, then he could, do it. He could potentially be an apostle.
Mm-hmm.
He went out there.
Okay, you go ahead.
No, so he went out there. He got an opportunity that he couldn't free all the slaves, but he could free one slave, Barabbas.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are a knowledgeable person in theology, Barabbas was the murderer who was switched places with Jesus. He was offered Barabbas, and they said they'd rather Barabbas be free instead of Jesus. In this story, Barabbas is Achilles from the Greek mythology.
Technically.
They mixed that up where he is now an immortal that can only be hurt by his heel, even though they kind of they write that out later on in the movie as well. But
he said wrong heel though. That's why.
okay.
So quickly on Barabbas, he's freed by Clarence, and then they're like mans. So towards the end of the movie, there's a scene where the Romans approach them, and he is stabbed through the heart. Doesn't kill him because he's immortal. He's stabbed through the heel, but then apparently he was like, wrong heel, motherfucker, and then he pulls it out and just keeps running. This move, I thought it was funny.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was funny.
But we got to get into one more part here. So after he frees Barabbas, he wasn't able to free the other slaves, but he was able to free Barabbas. He goes back to the apostles, and they decline him being the 13th apostle.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you about to say? No, so they go into the next best scam. He says, if the Messiah won't take me, I'm going to be the Messiah.
Because he doesn't believe Jesus is the Son of God, or he doesn't believe in the Immaculate Conception or anything of that nature. He just thinks that like the Messiah is a trickster, and he's been like pulling tricks on people, and the disciples are just like all in on it, and that he's doing this for financial gain and notoriety.
So they go all up and down the West Bank, basically fooling everybody, giving them money, acting like he's bringing people back from the dead, acting like he's curing blindness,
yeah,
all of this,
crippledness and all that.
So he starts to get the attention of the Roman Empire, and they not trying to fly with this Messiah shit.
So the Roman Empire had already had the attention of the Roman Empire because of the original Messiah, but then now the Roman Empire stepped in because they were like, there are multiple messiahs, and now these messiahs are spreading gospel that our men are created equally, and we cannot have that because y'all are black, and we don't think y'all are created equally.
So the Romans were a place of the white supremacist system that was going on, and the Jewish people at the time were reflection of the black people who, living in America now. That was kind of like the correlation between the two.
It was just a representation of white supremacy.
So in the midst of the heat going on with Jebediah, everybody's kind of that ending conflict happening, Clarence gets arrested. He gets brought in, and at the same token, you also kind of get the Last Supper view as well. You kind of get that look.
Which was one of my favorite scenes. I think one of my favorite things about this movie was like how it was shot. I think cinematically it was very aesthetically pleasing. That was one of my favorite scenes. And then one of the scene where Clarence decides to start doing all of the blasphemy, acting like he's the Messiah. He's at like a roadside hookah shop, and then everyone who gets high is like floating in the air, and it's so cool. And it looks like some Bootsy Collins produced shit. I love it so much. It's very quirky.
So in his trial, they actually have Ian McGregor. I think he's supposed to be Pontius Pilate, and he goes in to try to prove that this man isn't a Messiah. So they have this little trick where they open up the gate, and there's supposed to be like this pool of water. And he says to him, if you can cross this pool of water, you're the Messiah, I'll let you go. If you fall, you'll just drown, and we'll put the lid back on top of you. So Clarence is shitting a brick.
So right before this, there's a little trial, and he's like, I'm not the Messiah, I'm not the Messiah. And then the whole crowd is like, liar, liar. The whole crowd is like, you're the Messiah, you're just trying to save your ass right now. You are the Messiah. So the Romans are like, you're the Messiah, you're just lying to us, even though Clarence is telling the truth. He was like, this is a scam. So they make him do that.
He walks over the water, and he, the entire time, is perplexed. He doesn't know how he's doing it.
The sky, so right before he walks on the water, he looks up, and then the sky opens up, and it's like majestic heavenly rays of sun coming down, and then he's able to walk on the water.
He doesn't understand it. Everybody's freaking out. They even had like the Roman soldiers try to jump at him. They're all fall in the water.
Yeah, they're drowning.
And Ian McGregor says, I wish you would have fell in the water because I wouldn't have killed you, but now I have to.
Yeah.
And then they commence the crucifixion.
So they throw him in jail, and his twin brother comes to the jail cell to visit him. And this is when Clarence finally is like, I believe in God. Like, his brother is like, do you believe? And Clarence is like, I don't believe, I know. Like, this is it for me. So I think the entire movie was his redemption, him coming into his power, and then he didn't come into his full power until he opened himself up to believing in God. That's literally.
I don't even think it was that though. I don't even think it's the redemption in that. I think the redemption came when he said he was solid on Jesus.
So when he believed that the Messiah was somebody worth saving.
No, it's not that. He was not. He was saying, he even told Pontius, he said, I don't believe he's the Messiah. And even if I did, I still wouldn't put you out because that's my man. It's like, he's part of us. Mm-hmm. And that was the main thing. He was like, I'm not doing it because he is one of my people.
Okay, so he was just being a stand-up nigga.
Yeah, that's why I don't even get a part where he said he believed he was the Messiah. He was just saying, I'm not throwing away Jesus because he's one of my people.
Well, no, after the walking on water thing, he changed his tune completely, and he was a believer of everything.
I mean, if the last sentence that he told Pontius was, I don't have to believe in him. He's one of my people. I'm not.
He said, I don't believe I know.
Well, I mean, I don't believe I know is I don't.
I know. Like, he said that he has, his whole thing was that he didn't have proof. And his experiences is what gave him the proof that he needed to believe.
I mean, one thing
in the end, he was 1000% a believer in God and the Messiah. Yeah, How did you not get that from that? It's because you're an atheist. When his brother came to his cell, he was like, "Are you a believer now?" And then he was like, "Yes, yes, because I don't believe. Now I know."
That, to me, I didn't get it from that because one, Jesus wasn't even around to show that's who did the walk on water, and secondly, that miracle fucked you. So why would you feel like that helped you?
Let me so then moving on from that to further prove my point that he did believe that Jesus was the Messiah. After he gets crucified and dies, Jesus opens his cave, brings him back to life. He gets up. The first thing he says is, "My Lord," to Jesus.
I mean, that's yeah.
He comes up. He's like, "My Lord," because he believes now.
But yeah, you died and came back. That's not.
Oh my God! How are you trying to argue the
I'm
fact
not arguing.
that
I'm saying
after all of these things, he does now believe?
Because that's not belief anymore. If I show you that I have it, if I show you, okay, like this. If I tell you I got a gold rock,
yeah, because he had proof.
Listen. If I got a gold rock in my pocket, and I tell you to believe I got a gold rock in my pocket, and I show you I got the gold rock, do you have to believe it anymore? He didn't about to believe. He was shown.
We skipped over one of my favorite parts of the movie is while Clarence was captured by the Romans, there's this homeless dude that's just like been walking around in Jerusalem the whole time, and actual Jesus blesses him and makes like gold start coming out of his palms.
Shekels.
Gold, whatever. Start coming out of his palms. He goes, gets cleaned up. He looks like your traditional white depiction of Jesus, white man, long hair, robe. He's walking around doing miracles, giving people money.
It's Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah. So he is also one of the Jesuses, the Messiahs that gets crucified along with the other Jesus, and there is
the other Jesus doesn't get crucified. We never see the black Jesus.
Well, the actual Jesus never gets crucified, but with Clarence and a couple other people, I think it's like 4 people who get crucified at the same time.
It's 3? More than that. It's more. What they do is they take the white Jesus and they recreate the traditional white Jesus dying on the cross imagery, where you have white Jesus in the middle and 2 people next to him. But if you look at it, there's probably 9 people getting crucified at that time.
Yeah. So in the crowd there is, I don't think it was a Roman. I think it was like a citizen of the Jerusalem city that was painting the crucifixion.
That was
and
St. John.
And he only painted the white Jesus getting crucified, which is hilarious because then they just took that and ran with it, which is why I think they put that in there. Yeah, so I think we jumped around a lot back and forth because we missed a couple things, but that's the book of Clarence. It ends with Clarence being crucified and then being resurrected by actual Jesus. He sits up, he's like, my Lord.
After
and then,
being shown, because that's what he said too. He needed to be shown. He said that to his brother
and then he
earlier.
said he was shown. So
I will say this: all y'all who had something to say about Lil Nas X and didn't say anything about this movie, y'all suck and y'all lame as hell. Because this was basically the same thing, the exact same premise and movie, exact same thing. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. Unless
but nobody in this film was gay, so nobody was mad.
Are you sure?
Well, I'm not.
All right, man. I think we can leave it up here. All right. Want to thank everybody for listening and giving us your time. This is Talk FNF TV. Want y'all to like, follow, comment, and subscribe. We also want y'all to know. Hold on, let me pull this up here. Still working on the outro. So life is a labor of love. So keep building these moments together. And remember, your job is not your family, and the only thing you should be able to exploit is these corporations. Thank y'all again. We'll be back next week. We out of here.